Good morning, children. Welcome to the online class. How are you, children? Children, in previous classes we have discussed evaporation, condensation, and boiling concepts. In today's class, we are going to discuss about melting. Melting. Do you use the word melting when any time, children? I think you have used that word. What is melting? And for what purpose the melting concept is going to be used in this class we are going to discuss, children. See, children, you want to prepare a dish, then you need sugar for it. We'll say in Telugu panchadar pakam. So you'll take that solid crystals of sugar in a pan and you will heat on a flame, a small flame. You just add a little amount of water to it, children. Then what will happen, children? After some time, the entire solid phase will changes into the liquid phase. Yes or no? In the same way, if you want to convert the ghee into liquid, you will take the solid ghee. Yes or no? And when you keep in a pan, definitely by using this heat source, it converts from solid phase to liquid phase. Okay, children. In the same way, the jaggery, in many cases are there. Simple, the logic is to convert the solid phase into liquid phase is termed as melting. The definition for the melting is the process in which the solid phase changes into liquid phase at a constant temperature, Children, in the previous concept boiling, we have used that word constant temperature. In that case, if we want to boil the water, the bubbling occurs at just the constant temperature, that is 100 degrees Celsius, children. Okay, children, if that water receives the temperature of 100 degrees Celsius, then only, children, the bubbling will arise in the water itself. We can say it attained a constant temperature. The water has been attained a constant temperature. If you give more amount of heat at that point, it never takes, children. It never perceives. Understand? So that is the constant temperature of water is, boiling point is of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Then here also is saying the same thing, children. The process in which the solid phase changes into liquid phase. In order to convert the solid phase means what? The state. Sthiti. Okay, children, Sthiti. Not Andhra Pradesh like that. Okay, Sthiti. To change that solid phase into liquid phase, it happens only at a constant temperature, children. Just at a constant temperature. Whatever the fixed temperature is there, at that temperature only, the process is going to be happen, children. The process is going to be happen only at that particular temperature only. So here melting occurs at 0 degrees Celsius, children. 0 degrees Celsius. So we'll do a small activity. Then you come to know what is melting in clear, children. Children, I am just explaining the whole experiment. You have to take a pan or any dish, children. After you put a small ice cubes, okay, 5 or 6. You just put 5 or 6 ice cubes in that pan, children. Children, after keeping the ice cubes in the pan, you take the thermometer. That is a laboratory thermometer, children, not a clinical thermometer. Take the laboratory thermometer and keep that pan over the burner to heat, children. So here you are heating on the burner. Then, children, for every 1 minute you used to check that temperature. You have to check the rise of temperature, children, whether the temperature is rising or not. Children, actually I want to ask one question before to say that ice cubes are at a positive temperature or negative temperature, children? They are at negative temperature, children. I already said that every object in this universe applies or having a uniform temperature. They have their own temperatures, children. My body has one temperature and other bodies has other temperature, different temperature. From person to person it varies. In the same way, coming to here, ice, it has one temperature. Actually, the water also has one temperature. You are bringing that water into the less temperature. Means if suppose what the water you are taking, that is 20 degrees Celsius, then if you keep that entire amount of water in a refrigerator, its temperature is decreasing, children, from 20 to 19, 19 to like that, so on, 0 degrees. When it attains 0 degrees, the water converts to the solid phase, that is nothing but the ice. But here we are talking from solid phase to liquid phase now. So actually whatever the ice you are taking, we think that the temperature of that ice is minus 4 degrees Celsius. We'll take that temperature of the ice is minus 4 degrees Celsius. Right now you are supplying heat to the burner. Okay, you are supplying the heat to the pan. Then what happens, children? The ice receives that heat energy and there is a certain rise of temperature, that is minus 3, minus 2 degrees, minus 1, and it attains to 0 degrees Celsius, children. When it attains 0 degrees Celsius, then only the ice completely turns to the water. Okay, children, the melting process is going to be happen at this case, children. At this case only the melting process happens. This is the constant temperature what I was noticed here. Okay, at a constant temperature, this is the constant temperature. When ice reaches to 0 degrees Celsius, the temperature of ice reaches to 0 degrees Celsius, then only it converts from solid phase to liquid phase. Understand, children? You have to bring whatever the temperature it has initially to the final temperature, that is 0 degrees Celsius. Understand, children? Okay, sir. How this process happens? How the ice is solid? No, sir. How it converts into water? Can you say that, sir? Okay, I'll see you, children. So here, whatever the temperature, means whatever the heat energy you are applying to that ice, it is taking and it is using for internal molecular energy. So children, you know that water is nothing but a molecule. What are molecules? Yes or no? What is the formula of water? H2O. This is the formula of water, no, children? How many atoms are there, children? There are 2 atoms of hydrogen as well as 1 atom of oxygen. When all they combine, this is the oxygen, and 2 hydrogen atoms are combined like this. This is one molecule, children. Okay, when atoms are fused together, we will get one molecule, children. So there are number of molecules in the water itself. So when you give the heat energy, all the molecules which were bonded, this heat energy breaks that bonds, children. Breaks that bonds. Actually, for suppose this is a great wall, you know that. So you want to break this wall. Can you hit 1 or 2 times? Is it will break? It will break, children? No. The bonds which were present in that, they are very strong, children. In order to break that, definitely you want to apply a large amount of force. Okay, then only all the bonds which are present in this wall will break and the entire wall will fall down, children. In the same case, whatever the heat energy you are supplying to that ice, it is taking as internally to break the molecular bonds, children. To break the molecular bonds. Okay, children, this process, the breaking of molecular bonds, happens at this 0 degrees Celsius only, not before of 0 degrees Celsius or after of 0 degrees Celsius. It is just only at the 0 degrees Celsius. That's why I said constant temperature. The whole process, the process in which the solid phase changes into liquid phase at a constant temperature. 0 degrees Celsius is the constant temperature, children. Okay, children. Next, latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion. What is latent, children? Latent is nothing but inner. Latent is nothing but inner. Heat, you know, it is a form of energy. Okay, it always transfers from body of a high temperature to a body of low temperature. Fusion. What is fusion? When atoms get fused to each other, that is nothing but the fusion. When atoms gets closer to each other to fuse is called fusion. Right now, the entire process is nothing but to state whatever the heat energy you are applying to break that fusion only, children. Latent means inner. Heat means you are supplying that heat. What is fusion? Whatever the fused bonds are there, to break them you are using this heat, children. That is inner. Inner means not outside, inner. In. Okay, children. So here the definition for latent heat of fusion is the amount of heat required to convert 1 gram of solid ice 1 gram of solid ice into liquid is called latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion is nothing but, children, the latent heat of fusion is nothing but the amount of heat required. The amount of heat required to convert 1 gram of solid ice into liquid, children. Whatever the ice is there, that is a solid phase. To convert into the liquid phase, definitely we need some heat energy. So whatever that heat energy we require is nothing but latent heat of fusion, children. Latent heat of fusion means nothing but to provide heat energy to convert, in order to convert 1 gram of solid ice into liquid is called latent heat of fusion, children. The formula for latent heat of fusion is L equal to Q by small m. What L refers, children? What L refers? L is nothing but the latent heat of fusion. Then what is Q? Q is nothing but heat energy. What is M? M is nothing but mass. So children, here mass is nothing but the ice, 1 gram of solid ice. In order to melt that, definitely you require some heat energy now. That Q refers for heat energy. So Q by M is nothing but L. That's the latent heat of fusion, children. In the next class, we are going to discuss about freezing concept. That is the last concept of our first title named heat, children. Thank you.